S button. So on your calculator, you want to look for a button that says ANS on it. And usually it's by the equal sign. ANS. And it's usually capital letters. So look by your equal sign and find it. Now if I have an older calculator, for example, if I press like sign and that happens, so if you press SIN and that happens, you might not have that button. It's not a big deal. You have kind of an older calculator. But if you look at my grapher, here on my grapher, you can see the ANS button is right here in the yellow writing. Let me just bring that up for you so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so right here is the ANS button. So I'd have to press the second function button, press it, and then I'd have to press that button there. Okay? You guys found that button on your calculator? Okay, so what I want you to do then real quick is I want you to go, I want you to go 3 plus 4, press equals. Okay. And so then I want you to go 16 times ANS. And then press equals, of course. So 3 plus 4 should have given you 7. Is that correct? Yes. So what your calculator should be doing is going 16 times 7. Okay. And so the answer you should see on your calculator then is 16 times 7. 112. Does everyone see 112 on the calculator? Stephen, question? You see it? Okay, good. Can't find what? The ANS button? Come on up real quick. Hustle. Run! Okay, so a couple other things. M plus, some of your older calculators, that'll store the number in your memory. And then you press MR for memory recall, and it brings the number back up. Now the newer calculators are just going to use your ANS button, and that's fine. Okay? So same thing like STO and recall, which we talked about a little while ago. One other thing that someone brought up with the calculators, which is a good thing to point out, is with these newer calculators, if I go 15 plus 3 equals 18, if I want to do something else with that number, I can just go times 4. And so it brings up automatically the last answer and times that by 4. Okay, so that happens as well. Okay, the idea is to keep it accurate, because this is the golden rule. Only round final answers. Okay. Now in here, in this question, you're going to see we're breaking that rule a little bit, but there's a special reason why, and we'll talk about that. But a lot of you guys on your quizzes were rounding early and you're getting incorrect answers. Right? Remember, rounding is an approximation. It's not exact, and that's why we use pi with our cylinders and our circles. Okay, today we're looking at this question, surface area, applications. I want you to read it, underline the important information. Go. Read it, underline the important stuff. Now in your textbook, don't underline, just write it down. Okay, so important things you should have underlined: walls and ceiling. Is he painting the floor? No. Mom wouldn't like the carpet painted in their bedroom. Okay, so the room is 4 by 6 by 5 by 8 with a height of 2.2. Now that does some more information, but let's not worry about that. Okay, try and figure out how much paint you have to buy. You want to basically find the surface area. So let's draw a quick little diagram of his room to help us out. We have to be careful with the height. The height is the one that's tricky. You got to make sure you're putting it at 2.2. Okay. Remember, we're not including the floor. Then the other measurements, 4.6 and 5.8, they could switch. That's not a big deal. But you got to make sure the 2.2 is in the right spot. So now you can find the correct surface area, find the left and the right, go. Okay, so in the front and the back, making sure you use the correct dimensions for that. Then what's left to find? Just the top, because he is painting the ceiling. Okay, we're not painting the floor, only the ceiling. Now, if I didn't label my diagram, I might have done 2 of this measurements. You have to make sure you're not. So then add it up to find your total surface area. What we have to do is we have to make sure that we did not put one of these measurements where 2.2 was located. Because if we had done that, we could have doubled this area right here, which would have been incorrect. So that's why drawing a quick diagram and labeling it can help you out. Okay. Use diagrams to help you all the time as you're solving problems. So now what we have is we have to figure out how many pails we need to buy if each pail covers 30 meters squared. So what we have to figure out is how many groups of 30 are in 72.44. So what we're going to do is divide. Division will help you figure out how many groups there are in 72.44. So we're going to divide 72.44 meters squared divided by 30 meters squared. When we're dividing, our units cancel and we're left with a whole number. And we get 2.41. So, how many cans of paint should we buy? What should we round to? Josh? That's the trick with this question. All right. If you don't buy 3 cans of paint, you're going to have a whole section of wall that can't get painted. And no one wants that. So for this one, we always have to round up no matter what our answer is. So we must buy 3 oh, hold on. How many coats of paint is he going to do? Only 1. Okay, good. So this is going to round up to 3 cans. All right, so 3 cans. Then what you want to do is multiply by $42.50 to figure out the total cost. So first figure out how many cans, then times by the cost of each pail. I see they switched that. I'm using cans, so they're saying pails. So Yes.
There's 2 rooms.
Ah, I knew there was a 2 somewhere.
So then 2.4.
Thank you. Okay, so let's back up here. Okay, let me just, okay, so there is 2 rooms. Let's back up. So what do you think we should multiply by 2? Should we multiply the 2.41 by 2?
Yes.
No. Because we want to figure out what the double the surface area is first. Okay? So we have to multiply the surface area times 2 because there's 2 rooms. Okay. It might not work out exactly with our rounding. That's why we have to multiply the surface area. No. You're not listening to what I said. We need to make sure we double our surface area. That's the correct way to do it. Pardon me? Perfect. I just want to make sure you're not doubling later on. Okay. So 72.44 times 2, 144.88. Okay. So we're going to have to change this number here to 144.88. Okay. So it's important that the surface area is doubled. Then you're seeing how many groups there are. Don't find out how many groups and then double that. That would be incorrect. Okay. Again, your meters squared should cancel. And we get 4.8. So then we have to round up no matter what. 5 cans. Okay. You must round that up. So it's a good thing we didn't take the 3 cans and double that, because that would give us 6. Okay, so that's what I was getting at earlier. Yes. Okay. So we can now figure out our cost. 5 cans times, now I said cans, it should be pails. I see that now, sorry. I'll fix that. 5 pails times $42.50 a pail. Good. So, why am I not going to get full marks here? What have I done that's wrong? Yep. No. Meters squared's back here, and then we're multiplying by dollars. So we will get dollars, that's correct. Yep. Exactly. Your calculator is stupid. You're smarter than your calculator. Your calculator never puts zeros there because it's not needed. But when we're writing money, money is always written with 2 decimals. Okay? And French immersion students, when we're working in English, try and put your dollar sign in front. I don't mark it wrong, but dollar signs do go in front. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Next one then. Oh, we should do a quick little sentence. Needs to buy 5 pails at $212.50. Okay. So you got to mention how many pails and the total cost, because that's what the 2 questions are asking us. Put a little box around that. Looks so pretty. Nice, neat, sweet. There you go. Go on to the next question. Okay, so important stuff is how much materials need to cover the ring if 5% extra is required for waste. So you got to figure out your surface area. Okay, plus you got to figure out 5% more. Okay. Anytime you're doing a construction job, that's how you usually purchase material. You figure out what your surface area is, and then add 5% or 10% for waste. Some jobs even 15% if you got to do a lot of cutting. Okay. So remember that next time you're doing a little home renovation. Make sure you tell Dad so he buys enough, because it sucks if you don't. Trust me. All right. Find the surface area, please, of the ring. So you want a surface area of the large cylinder. Find that first. Then find the surface area of the inside cylinder, which has a different radius. So what's cut out? How are you able to put your finger through this ring? What has to be cut out of the top? 2 circles, 1 in each cylinder. Okay. What about the bottom? Another 2 circles. So a total of how many? 4 circles. Making sure you use the correct radius, you need to use the inside radius. And then times that by 4. So it's 64 pi. Yes? Sorry, which inside what? 2 times 4, this one right here. 2 times, oh yeah, 8 times 3 is 24. Thank you. 24 pi, this will be 56. Is that better? Thank you, appreciate that. Okay. So then I want you to find your surface area total, please. Okay. So right now we get a total of 72 pi. Any questions about that? What you should be doing is dividing that by 100. Because technically you're taking this and turning it into the decimal. So you're saying it weird. Okay. Kira, you got something you want to say?
You just say it backwards. You
Yeah.
divide by 5 and then divide by 100.
Exactly. Now, what I like to do is I just take turn this into a decimal, and that's where the divide by 100 is. Okay, so 5% is not the true number. Anything with a percent is not the true number. Turn into a decimal by dividing by 100, that's the true value. Okay, so we have two options. We can go 72 times pi times the percentage. That will equal the 5%. Then you'll have to add the 72 pi to give you your total. Now 72 pi, what percentage of 72 pi is 72 pi? 100%. So why don't we, instead of taking 5% and then adding it to 100%, why don't we add those together? What would that equal? 105%. So to do it all together, you could take 72 pi and times it by 105% as a decimal. Putting that 1 in front adds the 100% automatically. So it's a little bit shortcut. Okay. So let me just do it both ways for you. 72 times pi times 0.05, 11.309. Now then add 72 pi to it, and you get 237.5. So then I can go check out the other way. 72 times pi times 1.05 equals the exact same thing, 237.5. Units would be centimeters squared. Okay. So there's two different methods to do it. It's just like when you're doing taxes, right? If PST plus GST equals 14%, the shortcut for your total bill would be your cost times 1.14. Okay? And then you can go straight to your cost. So when you're shopping, that's kind of what you want to look at. Now your bill, they break it into the two taxes and they add it up. It's the exact same thing. I almost guarantee you've seen that before. No? I think you probably have. I'd be surprised if you didn't. Because I think my daughter did that in grade. Homework. Let's find your homework. The next worksheet, applications of surface area. A toy box. Careful, it's an open top box, so there's no top to it. Okay. Read these questions carefully. You just have a few questions. Answers are on the bottom. All right. Please show your work. You have lots of time to get this done in class. You shouldn't have too much homework. Okay. But read carefully. Check your answers. If you're stuck, come up and I'll help you with it. It might just be one thing you're missing in the words. All right. Good. Get to work. Go.